Alrighty. How's your day going?
Good. How's your day going?
It's going well. So, how was your drive in?
A lot of traffic, per usual.
Okay. So you do realize that you're going to be applying for a transmission system coordinator at ITC?
Yes, I do.
Do you understand what that entails?
I do not. Could you go over that a bit more?
Sure. Basically, what you will be doing on a day-to-day basis is, first of all, you will have to get qualified by the government to sit on the board.
Okay.
And it's pretty much a test that you have to study for and take it.
Okay.
After you pass that, then we put you through training where you will be sitting on a board with a certified operator.
Okay.
And that's going to be about 2 to 3 months long.
Okay.
Then you get to sit on it by yourself. And basically you're going to be working in a team environment, monitoring the grid, taking lines out, making sure the lines do not overload, that we don't have outages like we had in 2003 where from New York, yes, the blackout from New York to pretty much Virginia all the way to Michigan, blacked out.
Okay.
All right, so tell me about yourself, what you like, what you're passionate about, what you dislike.
Well, I'm very passionate about current events that have to deal with engineering, such as innovative technology,
Okay.
specifically related to cars.
Such as what exactly? What's the newest thing that you have read?
Well, for example, autonomous vehicles are a big, big thing. And my current employer, Denso, which is an automotive supplier, actually is funneling hundreds of millions of dollars into autonomous vehicles just in the Michigan headquarters.
Okay. That sounds pretty interesting. Now, tell me something that you dislike.
Dislikes. Team efforts. You said this is a team related job.
Yes, it's a very team-oriented.
A team-oriented job where you're the only one working.
Okay, I guarantee you will not be the only one working because everybody will be sitting on their own respective desk, and they will all have their own area to monitor.
Well, that's reassuring.
But you will. The way this is a team effort is because you will be with the same group of people every day for the job. It's a shift. And when things go bad, because every now and then things fail and we have to get ahead of that, you will have your team there to back you up.
Okay.
You're okay with that, correct?
Yes.
All right. So tell me about your strengths.
My strengths. Well, one of my biggest strengths is that when I see something that needs to be completed, I work very systematically. So if I have a list of objectives that need to be done, I will work in a very efficient manner to get each one done individually, because multitasking is a good way to either forget a big thing or make mistakes.
That is a very helpful tool in our niche.
Multitasking?
No, very systematic
Yes.
operation. So what about your weaknesses?
Weaknesses. In my systematic approach, I tend to overdo everything to the point of perfection, which can sometimes be a waste of time, some may call it. However, that is also a strength because it makes everything much more organized, and I guess if the term perfection fits, perfect.
Okay. So, tell me about a situation where you've had to deal with a confrontation with the manager or someone your superior.
Well, there was this time back at when I was working at Roush when I needed a couple days off. So when I called my manager, he said, you know, I don't know what to tell you. It's too late. I can't have you not come in. When, when a family emergency or something occurs, sometimes you need some time off. So to resolve that issue, we both, instead of, yelling at each other or sending nasty emails or phone calls, messages, we resolved the issue by working together to find someone who could help cover for me.
All right. So what do you do in your free time?
Study.
When you're not studying, when you're on break or something, what do you do?
When I'm on break. Well, I'm very social, so I like to be with friends. But other than friends, I love researching contemporary articles, as I mentioned before, about both engineering, mechanical, electrical, and biomedical.
Okay. Sounds interesting. So, tell me about a time when you had a specific problem that needed to be solved, but you did not have all the information, you did not have any of the guidance. How did you go about solving this problem?
Well, back, far back, when I was taking Engineering 100, we had a project of making automatic blinds dependent on light sensitivity. Now, we used a board called Arduino, which basically you upload a program to, and it carries out the function in a repetitive loop. So, that being said, in our engineering class, our professor treated it as he was going to throw us out into the ocean, and if we swam, we swam, but if we were sinking, he would try to bring us back, reel us back in, but the reeling part wasn't so much there, so we were on our own. He taught us the basics, how to program an LED to blink for a second, but now we were at an advanced level where we needed to be able to program stepper motors, wire the stepper motors, connect it to a mechanical function, and go from there. Now, we didn't have any guidance because our professor during lecture would not talk about the project at all. He'd talk about probability, statistics, and engineering ethics. So what we did to resolve the problem as a team was we found other resources to help us, such as forums online and other people who were more familiar with the circuitry.
So basically you went out of your way to discover other
means,
articles and material that was available. So what would you do if there wasn't anything available?
That's when you do a test, and basically it's going to be, if it works, it works. If it doesn't, change something, test it again. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, change something,
Isn't that time consuming?
It is, but if it's your final option, there's not much else to be done.
Agreed. So, last question. Tell me why you want to work for us, and what exactly did you like about the company?
Well, something I very much liked about the company was that it is a relatively small and new and growing, progressively growing company. So if I was to work at something like Denso or Ford or Roush, they're already such a big, vastly spread out company that there's not much room for innovation. Whereas this company has years and years and years of progression ahead of them. For example, at Denso, when I was working there, the biggest, innovative technology that we had come to us was the millimeter sensor for for autonomous vehicles. Now, that itself sounds interesting and all of that, but just one sensor in the whole car out of hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of sensors isn't very interesting, I guess, because technology is vastly improving out there, where big companies don't really care about it because they're too big to fail, whereas companies that are smaller have to stick their foot out into the door and get, innovative technology to actually succeed in the market, because it makes them, I guess, comparable to the other sellers.
So you like the fact that the company is small, it's increasing, it's going forward. What else do you like about the company, about ITC?
About ITC, what I do like is actually the actual product, or I guess not so much product,
the services,
service that you guys provide. Electricity is everywhere. You can't get away from electricity unless you go.
So you like the fact that the company is going to be around for a very long time?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have any questions for us?
When what is the environment of the actual workplace that I will be?
Do you mean the culture-wise, or do you mean what you're actually going to be sitting at?
Both.
Culture-wise, it's very relaxed in there. It is, majority of the people are either fresh out of military or they have experience in this market before. So there's a lot of
knowledge.
There is a lot of knowledge, but there's also a lot of understanding of working together. It's very relaxed in there. You form friendships. Working on the same team for so many years, and as far as the actual stations that you guys are going to be sitting, it's one huge room. The wall, it's about almost 3 stories high, that has the whole grid laid out that we own, and in the middle has maps, graphs showing expected load and expected pretty much forecast for load and what we are generating. It talks about how much wind, it talks about the frequency that we are carrying right now, because all across the US we use 60 hertz. Also, it's set up to where you have 2 people monitoring the Michigan side, and you have 2 people monitoring the rest of our assets out in the Midwest. And then you have one person who's a senior who's been there for 10 plus years, who knows his stuff, and who is pretty much the liaison between you guys and the managers, and he's there to help you guys out with every aspect if you guys need help with. And then you also have a voltage control guy who will monitor the voltage in all the areas to tell you, to directly talk to the generation, saying, hey, we need more generation, or hey, cut back on generation. And pretty much that's what you deal with. The manager, it's a very self-driven. It's a mixture of self-driven and the company drives you. Self-driven in the fact that when you have night shifts, you will be writing your own procedures for people taking lines out. Mm-hmm. So you have to. That's based on you. There's a set way to do it, but it's up to you when you do it. But it has to be done before you actually go sit on the desk to perform that. It will be reviewed by multiple people, and you will be working independently of all managers, and you won't have a lot of oversight over what you do.
So no micromanaging.
No micromanaging. There are policies and procedures in place that you have to follow, because that you will be controlling someone's life when you are switching and tagging, and you will be controlling millions and millions of dollars worth of equipment when you're switching and tagging. So there are policies and procedures in place for you not to mess that up.
I see.
But other than that, it is up to you.
Okay. That sounds interesting.
That was a good question. Do you have any other questions?
No other questions.
All right. Thank you very much.
Yep.